I'm 75 now, and I can't remember anybody except that she was the only one, so I think she carved her own role.
The Royal Guard did not knock or announce themselves when they raided Camilla's private estate. They acted on direct orders and discovered pieces of the crown that were never meant to leave. Someone had been planning to sell them quietly and permanently. The guard entered with full royal authority and took the items back. When Camilla tried to stop them, Prince William landed on the lawn to finish the operation. This situation was not just about jewelry, but memory, trust, and the danger of losing the past to the wrong hands. That night, the monarchy didn't lose control. It took it back. The glitch that started it all. The infantry log glitches at 6:47. Sergeant Nathan Corbin noticed a brief flicker on his screen with a strange code. Temp relock, QLPD 192. There were no alerts or timestamps. It was just a note about an archivist who hadn't been to the vault in over 2 years. Nathan rubbed his eyes in the dim light of Windsor's legacy chamber. Something felt off. He tapped the entry, and the details appeared like a puzzling riddle. Object: sapphire pendant. Owner: Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II. Chain of custody: legacy archive to temporary preservation transfer. Destination: Albemarle Heritage Consultants. Authorization: external referral/LE3 clearance. Remarks: pending off-site display curation. This surprised him. He had handled that pendant himself. It was a large teardrop sapphire surrounded by Welsh diamonds. The Queen had worn it for Prince Philip's last memorial. It had never been flagged for loans or exhibits. He checked the backups and found 3 more items with the same unusual pattern: an emerald coronet, the coronation brooch, and a 4-strand pearl choker that belonged to the Queen Mother. All were marked for temporary relocation in the past 6 weeks, routed through Albemarle Heritage Consultants, and all records pointed to Norfolk. Nathan leaned back, feeling the silence of the chamber weigh on him. He had been there when Elizabeth's casket went through Westminster, holding the sovereign's orb. He remembered her voice from a casual visit 3 years ago. "These aren't just trinkets, Sergeant. They're stories. They don't belong to me. They belong to whatever comes next." So why were her items going to Albemarle? He got up and checked case 17, where the brooch should have been. Morning light was coming through the stained glass, highlighting the empty stands. He opened the old paper ledger they still used for backups and found the entry from 3 years ago. It was inked by hand. Signature: EIIR. His jaw tightened. Nathan wasn't one to jump at shadows, but this was different. It wasn't just a simple move if the Queen's private jewels disappeared. It was a heist covered by paperwork. Someone needed to answer for this. Uncovering the trail. Lady Caroline Whitby usually stayed calm, but when Nathan pushed the file across her old tea table, she raised her eyebrows and shut the door. They were in a dusty reading room on the 2nd floor of the Royal Archives, with sunlight streaming through old panes and dust-covered leather books. Nathan had picked the right moment. No renovation crew was around, just Caroline, her hot Earl Grey in a delicate cup, and years of palace secrets in her mind. She studied the dossier like a mystery novel, flipping pages while frowning. "Crates leaving Windsor 12 days apart," she said, running her finger down the lists. "No press coverage, security checks, and customs stamps that I can find. A dead end at Sandringham." She chuckled bitterly. "You know what you're getting into, right?" "I'm not causing trouble," Nathan replied. "I'm laying it out clearly." He pointed at the Albemarle code. "That's a dead authorization. We put it aside after Elizabeth passed. Someone revived it without proper approval." Caroline leaned back in her chair, her expression serious. "Are you suggesting Camilla is sneaking things out?" "I think Camilla's properties are linked to royal jewels that didn't have permission to leave." The silence was heavy. Then she opened a locked drawer and pulled out a slim black leather folder. "There's someone you should talk to." She gave him a plain business card. Just a name. Inspector Roel Chudari, Metropolitan Police Heritage Unit. "Mention me," she said quietly. "And Nathan?" "Be careful. People in power don't like loose ends." Inspector Roel Chudari met Nathan at a back door to Scotland Yard. No uniform, no badge, just a thick wool coat and sharp eyes. "Lady Whitby said you had concerns." missing stock, fake shipping documents, and a firm that isn't on any approved list. Chidari looked at the printouts Nathan handed him, focusing intently. We investigated something similar 2 years ago, Balmoral items showing up in Geneva sales. It led nowhere. No charges, just a quiet dismissal from the palace. They brushed us off. Nathan's voice turned serious. Not this time. We won't be dismissed. They spent the next hour matching Windsor's exit codes against off-site shipments. Crates labeled household keepsakes had been left through service doors with plainclothes movers and sent to Norfolk estate clearances, Camilla's private operation, away from Crown oversight. One name appeared on every form. L.R. Meredith, a logistics expert who had worked for high-end collectors in Monaco and Dubai. Am I allowed to proceed? Nathan asked. You have enough for a search warrant, Chidari replied. But if it gets complicated and political, be ready to pull back. Nathan tucked the folder into his coat and stood up. Then I'll inform the Crown first. Keep it from escalating. He left with more than just documents. He had proof that royal items were being taken from Windsor into private hands. If no one acted quickly, those items would disappear forever into the black market art scene. Briefing the Prince. Colonel James Stretton looked closely at a folder in a simple conference room at Clarence House. Are you sure about the origin of these items? He asked Nathan. Nathan nodded and confirmed that Queen Elizabeth secured the pendant, coronet, and brooch, with no plans for handover. Stretton asked if they were at the Norfolk place. Nathan replied, they were shipped out using fake documents by a contractor with a bad reputation. Just then, Prince William entered and assessed the situation. Sergeant Corbin, do you have something urgent? Nathan handed him the folder, standing firm as William examined it. This is theft, William said. Actually, it's worse. It's erasure. William asked Stretton how quickly they could retrieve the items. Stretton answered, 12 hours. Off books. William responded with determination. No badges, no mess. We keep this quiet, he instructed Nathan. As William headed out, he added, this is about trust. If we lose that, we're finished. With the seriousness of the situation sinking in, Stretton told Nathan he was off patrol. This is the real deal. Nathan took the folder, knowing that returning here might jeopardize his position next time, but he was committed to protecting the Crown's history. The raid begins. From the outside, the aircraft hangar at Norfolk looked ordinary, just a weathered building behind old radar equipment. But that gray Tuesday morning became the starting point for an essential royal operation. Inside, a folding table stood between two Land Rovers. On the table were a briefcase with Privy Council seals, a retrieval warrant, and 6 black folders with operational details. Colonel Stretton stood at the head of the table with 2 officers from the Metropolitan Police. He briefed the team directly. You are recovery specialists today, not law enforcement. This is an operation authorized by the Crown. No media, no mistakes. Nathan arrived last, aware of the serious nature of their mission, recovering stolen jewelry and memories from the Queen Consort's estate. He recognized Corporal Hamzadah and shared a brief shoulder clasp. Inspector Chidari set up body cameras to document everything in case of problems. As they prepared to leave, Nathan organized the evidence containers in his Land Rover and confirmed clear communication with a communications officer. Stretton raised his hand to signal the convoy to move, 3 Land Rovers and 1 unmarked vehicle, heading quietly to reclaim pieces of history before it was too late. Entering the estate, Camilla's Norfolk estate looked elegant, with rose-covered gates and neatly trimmed hedges. However, Nathan focused on the security system, noting areas that lacked monitoring, like the Western Service Road. This estate used to belong to the Queen but had been expanded by Camilla with new wings and special storage areas, making it more than just a private retreat. According to their plan, the group split up. Inspector Chidari's team went to the main entrance, while Nathan's group headed for the staff entrance, where old codes still worked. At 6:02 p.m., Chidari showed a warrant to a surprise steward, claiming authority over Crown artifacts. Nathan then entered through the service door and met a nervous young curator who tried to stop him. Nathan calmly explained that they had the right to access the Crown artifacts. They moved to a converted carriage house with a climate-controlled gallery. Nathan entered the code, and the heavy door opened to reveal the Queen's sapphire pendant and coronation brooch displayed like treasures in a private museum. Nathan realized they were not just preserving history, but preparing it for sale. Confrontation in the vault. The vault felt colder than the corridor outside. Nathan stepped inside and saw what Camilla had created, a storage area, an exhibit of royal treasures with elegant lighting and handwritten labels. The sight of the Queen's personal jewelry made his chest tighten. The sapphire pendant, once worn by Elizabeth, was labeled as mid-20th century sapphire and diamond pendant, private collection. To his right was the emerald coronet, and to his left the coronation brooch, beautiful reminders of their value, now recontextualized and stolen. Da whistled softly, echoing Nathan's feelings. Jesus, it's like robbing a memory. As Nathan documented each piece, a man in an expensive suit entered, L.R. Meredith, a heritage preservation specialist. He said the items were under review by the Queen Consort. Nathan responded by showing a retrieval warrant authorized by the Crown. Meredith lost some of his calm as Nathan instructed his team to document and prepare for the transfer. Although the atmosphere stayed professional, Nathan felt the tension rising. He took one last look at the sapphire pendant, recalling how it once comforted Elizabeth. Now it sat in silence, ready to be misvalued by buyers who would never grasp its true significance. Not if he could help it. The rhythmic click of heels on polished stone announced Camilla's arrival. Nathan recognized the sound without turning. She entered the gallery with aides, projecting authority mixed with barely contained anger. "This is private property," she said sharply. "You have no legal right to be here." "Ma'am, this is a Crown-authorized recovery," Nathan responded firmly. Her expression hardened. "That pendant was personally gifted to me. What you're doing is overstepping. The monarchy hurts itself when it forgets its purpose," he replied. "I'm a guard. I don't make policy," she said. "I swore an oath to the Crown and the legacy of the Queen who trusted me to protect these items." Camilla's composure shook. "That Queen is dead." "Her intentions did not die with her," Nathan said, keeping his voice steady. An aide suggested Camilla allow the recovery, but she silenced him with a piercing glare. "No," she insisted, turning back to Nathan. "You think I don't see this for what it is?" A power play masked as duty. "We came quietly," Nathan said. "No press or uniforms." Someone had to intervene. "The pieces have been ignored for years. Hiding them doesn't honor their significance," she said, stepping closer. "This could ruin your career." "My career was never what I was protecting," he replied. She laughed without humor. Noble sentiment, but impractical. Turning to her staff, she ordered, "Seal this room. Nothing leaves until I've spoken to His Majesty." Nathan reached for his earpiece. "Control requesting immediate clearance authority." A calm voice responded. "Inbound. ETA 8 minutes." Camilla's expression changed. "Who did you just contact?" "Someone who remembers what the Crown stands for," Nathan stood firm. "Prince William arrives." The sound of helicopter blades filled the Norfolk countryside, making Camilla turn instinctively. The gray, unmarked helicopter carried royal authority. Prince William stepped out, followed by 2 legal officers with sealed documents, and approached the estate confidently. Inside the vault corridor, Camilla waited while Nathan and his team prepared the royal jewelry for transport. William entered and looked around. "Sergeant Corbin," he said, and Nathan reported that everything was ready for removal. William told the legal officer to read a decree from the Crown Legacy Protection Act that required Queen Elizabeth II's personal items to be returned to royal custody. Camilla felt tense as William explained the importance of these items. "You think I'll accept this intervention?" she asked. "It's already done," William replied firmly. Camilla struggled to keep her composure and told her staff to cooperate. William ordered everything to be secured before dawn and stressed that the operation should remain secret. As he left, the legal officer thanked Nathan for helping preserve important history. Nathan turned back to continue his work, focused on the task ahead. The return to Windsor. The convoy returned through Windsor's gates just before dawn. The Land Rovers moved quietly, carrying valuable artifacts in secure containers. Nathan insisted on holding the last container himself. He felt it was important to do this step personally. He walked down the marble corridor and entered the legacy chamber as morning light filled the stained glass windows. He placed the sapphire pendant back into case 17, where it fit perfectly, as if it had never left. The sunlight scattered gold across the chamber walls. He recalled Elizabeth's words, "Not everything precious needs to be displayed." Now he understood that some things should be kept safe. He put each artifact back in its proper place, the emerald coronet and the brooch, finishing just as the lighting dimmed at 7 a.m. Every stolen piece was back where it belonged. The morning papers did not report on the recovery, but whispers circulated among those who understood what had really happened. Nathan found an envelope at his post that read, "Duty fulfilled. Legacy preserved." W. He put it in his desk drawer beside his service medal and prepared for the questions. He knew the crown's memory was secure, and some legacies were fought for, not inherited. Do you think a royal guard should be able to raid a queen consort's estate to protect heritage? Should royal heirlooms stay under crown control? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you think some history shouldn't be for sale, like, subscribe, and activate the notification bell. Our next story shows what happened when a foreign ambassador tried to intimidate a royal guard. Don't miss it.